One. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 16 of Brown Mint Horrors Behind the Horror. We're here with cast and crew of Harvey, a film brought to us by Miss Shari over at Midnight Releasing and Samara Entertainment. Big shout out to Miss Shari. Thank you for getting me hooked up with these awesome guys. We have co-director and actor from Harvey, Johnny Alonzo, in the bottom right-hand corner.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
We've got Kevin Wynn, who plays the role of Snyder.
Hello, hello.
One of the more lovable characters in Harvey.
The lovable, huggable character, yes.
Right. And then we have Mr. Harvey himself, the star of the show, Darius Autry.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for having us, Jesse.
Very, very welcome. Very welcome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, guys. Been trying to get this done for a little while. Thank you so much. As I said, while we were in the lobby, I had a chance of checking out Harvey, about wrapping it up about 30 minutes ago. A really good flick. Everybody from here at the Brown Mint Horror team, first of all, wants to thank you once again for all the things that you do in the independent world. Our goal is to obviously promote indie horror, indie films in general, show you guys love and make sure everybody knows what you guys are doing, because you guys do a phenomenal job of what you got. So once again, thank you guys for being on the show. We're going to start off with a little bit of an icebreaker, a little horror trivia. Any horror fans out here tonight?
None.
None. So what we'll do is the obligatory favorite horror film question. We're going to start with Kevin Wynn. Kevin, what's your favorite horror flick, or just the horror flick you watched recently?
Oh goodness, there's so many. I'm always a fan of The Shining, and one that I don't know, it just got me was The Strangers with Liv Tyler.
Yeah, I recently watched that again, like the first time in 10 years, whatever it come out. So I watched it and picked it up on Blu-ray, really, because of this other movie I bought by the same director. God, what's his name? I was about to literally say it. Director, we'll go to the Google machine real quick, of Strangers. You got to check this film out, Kevin, if you like it. Brian Bertino. Yeah. You got to check out The Dark and the Wicked.
Okay.
By far scariest film I've seen probably in the last 5 years.
What was it? The Dark and the Wicked?
The Dark and the Wicked. I can't suggest it more enough. Take the spookiness of The Strangers and how uneasy you feel, all the stuff happening in the background, and then add a supernatural kind of demonic twist to it, and then you have The Dark and the Wicked.
Definitely going to check it out.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. It's kind of like The Witch. It's going to make you think a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Darius, talk to me about a horror movie you like, man.
I love the Paranormal Activities. They're just.
Are you a fan of all of them?
I like them all.
All right, you're a true fan. Okay.
I've grown up kind of watching them, and it's just something about having that documentary style footage and the actual footage from the camera in the house that it just resonated with me growing up, and I kind of just carried that into adulthood. So,
dude, I'm right there with you. I can remember my uncle bringing home. He went to Walmart and bought a VHS copy of this movie that had been talked about a bunch in the papers, and he heard about it at work, and we were so excited to watch this movie that got hyped up. It was called The Blair Witch Project.
Oh yeah, man.
And when I first, I was watching at my grandparents' house with him, and I was like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10. And I remember just, I was like, man, they say the fuck word a lot in this movie. And it was so fun. And that was one of the things that he got done with when he took it out. He's like, man, well, aside from them saying fuck every 5 seconds, it's pretty good. Anyways,
oh yeah,
found footage, totally a huge fan. If I could recommend a found footage film, did you guys watch I'm sure you did, I think it doesn't get much recognition as it should. Cloverfield.
Oh yeah.
I thought Cloverfield was I watched Cloverfield again for I don't know, like the second or third time the other day.
Awesome.
And I was like, man, this holds up. This is holding up really well.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to Mr. Johnny Alonzo. Hit us with a horror flick.
My favorite forever, The Exorcist. No question. No question. Huge fan. Huge fan. I mean, I can watch that. I mean, it scares the hell out of me. Still.
I love The Exorcist. Yeah,
I grew up Roman Catholic, so that shit really did scare me, man. You know?
I bet so. I bet it dug in deep.
Totally. And growing up, toward Baltimore when we moved out from New York, Georgetown, Washington D.C. is not too far from Baltimore. It's like 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
So I got to see like the steps from The Exorcist, and it was just creepy stuff, man. But you mentioned Blair Witch. I'm friends with Eduardo Sanchez, the director.
Oh, and, nice.
Yeah, dude. He's from Maryland, by the way, dude. That's
name drop Brown Mint Horror, the best horror podcast ever that hasn't been received an Emmy or anything. And tell me when to feature him on there. So far, we've talked about his split twice on these podcasts. So
no, dude, yeah, I stay in touch with all those cats. So I'll mention you. I'll get you some info.
Oh, that'd be great, man.
Yeah, man. Eduardo was a marketing genius. When that movie came out, let me tell you something. He had this idea. He told all the theaters that picked up the film, this is a true story, look it up, that he didn't want anyone that bought a ticket, he didn't want anyone in the theater until 5 minutes before showtime, which caused massive lines up in front of the theaters.
Yes.
So everyone's driving by, they're like, what the hell, what movie is this? I got to watch this film. He was so good at self-promoting. He was great at promotion. I remember when the commercials came out on the radio, it sounded like, oh my God, these people, it was like a real story. They found some footage.
I thought it was back in the day.
Burkittsville, I really did. In Burkittsville, Maryland. I'm like, that's close to home. And I know those woods, man. It's like dark, creepy ass mountain woods. So it made sense. But no, Eduardo Sanchez is a genius. And like I said, he's Maryland grown, man. He's Maryland based. So yeah, The Exorcist, Blair Witch is fantastic. There's another movie I just saw recently called The Antlers. See that.
Oh, that is actually on my list. Okay, I'm
glad
you recommended that.
Yeah, dude, I'm not screwing around. The Antlers, man, scared the crap out of me. So
fantastic. Stuff. I'll hit you guys up with my favorite and one that I've watched recently. We're gonna go with the original Halloween 1978 as my favorite, which was an indie film back in the day. And then let me check this watch list real quick. Let's see, what was okay. So it actually wasn't a horror flick, but if you guys get a chance to see them, I've been on this Philip Seymour Hoffman kick here recently and trying to go through his catalog. And I came across him and Joaquin Phoenix in The Master. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it yet.
Real quick synopsis. I think it takes place in like the 30s or 40s, and Joaquin is like a drunk seaman type guy, and ends up getting into this cult that is ran by Philip Seymour Hoffman. And he's called The Master, and puts out this book, and he's just completely full of shit. It is fantastic, and he does such an excellent job. And Joaquin is totally out there in this one. So yeah, The Master. I think I watched it on Amazon Prime. I think you guys need to check that one out.
I'll keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's move on to the horror trivia. Is there? Let's see here. In no particular order. The way it works is, I'll read a question. And we don't have any buzzers or anything like that. We're not super high tech. All you got to do is shoot that hand up as quick as possible. I will call on you, and we will see if you have the correct answer. First 1 to 3 correct answers wins. All right. Are we ready?
Yeah. Ready.
Do it.
All right. I got a feeling that Darius, I try to kind of pick who's going to win. And I feel like Johnny has the most horror knowledge, but I feel like Kevin or Darius is the one that's going to win. Let's see if I'm right. Okay. If I had to pick one winner, I'm going to pick Kevin. Okay.
All right.
So, who is the actor who played the killer in Nightmare on Elm Street? Kevin Wynn.
Robert Englund.
We got it. Okay, that was a bit of a softball right out of the gate, but we'll, it's a warm-up question. All right, we'll give you that answer. Okay, let's see here. This Dumb and Dumber actor was in a 90s film about spiders. Kevin Wynn.
Jeff Daniels.
God.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Darius, what decade should I pick these next question for you from?
You see, I probably should watch more movies. Let me just say that. I wish I would have started acting when I was a little boy, so I would have more films in my catalog, but I'm a little late in the game.
All right. So let's do, let's see here. Okay. Johnny should get this one.
Uh-oh.
What 1974 horror film received 10 Academy Award nominations?
Is that The Exorcist?
You will have to raise your hand for that answer.
Oh, sorry. Okay. No.
Yes, The Exorcist.
Yes.
All right, we got a 2-1. Darius with the goose egg. All right, Darius is going to come in right here clutch. He's going to get on the board. Are you ready, Darius?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see here. Leatherface is the killer in which horror film?
He raised that hand first.
Kevin Wynn.
He deserves it.
Is Kevin Wynn going to have the win?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, man. Kevin's my boy. I picked Kevin. I picked Kevin.
Yeah, that was a good
You
choice.
called it. You
Yeah.
called it.
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, I'm sure Johnny has the most horror knowledge. Darius, young pup, he's coming up in the world. He's cutting those horror teeth. And then Kevin, he's just, he just slid right in there and got it.
Encyclopedia.
My man. My man.
Mm.
All right. So I got to ask a quick question, Mr. Johnny Alonso. What is that, a Les Paul, and what behind you there?
Oh my God. Les Paul. This blue one is, let me show it to you, one of my prized possessions. Look at this guitar. Can you see that?
Mm.
Oh, that's sexy. I like that.
Yeah, isn't that cool as
That's
shit?
nice.
It is a Domino Californian. It's a 1964. It is it's a copy of the Vox, the old British Vox guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's sound, dude, and it has sustain for days. So that I've got a bunch of other guitars back here. I mean, I've got a Fender Jag that I picked up in Queens. Look at that thing.
Mm.
Nice, man.
I love collecting classic and vintage guitars. I got a ton of stuff. I got Marshall stacks, as you can see.
Nice.
Yeah, so I play a little guitar. Yeah.
Nice. Well, it's not for us. It's Nashville, so you either grow up or move with your guitar here. So,
That's right.
what about you, Kevin? Darius, do you guys play music?
I used to play the drums. It's been a while, but I think if I got back on them, it's like riding a bike.
There you go. Amen.
Yeah.
Good.
Piano a little bit.
Okay.
Piano a little bit.
Have you guys done any music for any films or anything like that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Johnny, you have?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, there's a film out there called Harvey. Yeah, I used to be in a band, man, back in the day. We were like more dark wave, post-punk alternative. And we came out with 2 albums. We toured the country at the ripe old ages of 15, 16, 17, and 18.
Nice.
And yeah, I learned, man, being on the road at that age, man, it was so much fun. I mean, we got in a lot of trouble too, but it was a lot of fun. And that's where I got my acting start. Like, I realized there was a lot of interaction within the members, and there was it was performing. So I figured out there was a lot of acting on stage, and that's what actually jumped me into the world of acting. So, I credit music for all this,
Well, that was a perfect segue.
Yeah.
Into the acting field. Kevin, how'd you get involved with acting, man?
Oh man, it was back in the end of 2015. I had wanted to get into acting for quite a while, but listening to the negative talk about very tough, you'll never get anywhere, and I kind of bought into that. But then I just made the decision, you know what, screw that. It's something I want to do, and I'm going to do it. And somebody actually sent my information to an agent, and they contacted me and wanted me to come in and to interview with them. And I talked to them, and I was like, listen, I don't have any experience. And they said, well, you got to look. So we're gonna sign you, and we're gonna make sure you get some work. And ever since then, I've been going.
That's awesome. What about you, Darius? How'd you get involved, man?
I've got a similar experience to Johnny, but it's a little different. I actually was a Latin dancer in high school, my junior and senior year.
Okay.
So I performed, kind of went around the country doing that. Went international to like the Dominican Republic. And I was halfway through college. I didn't want to study finance anymore. And I said, you know what? Performing is fun. College.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
And then I said, you know what? Let me try acting because it's performing. And I tried it and fell in love with it, man. And I actually enjoyed college because of it. So
there you go,
that's
man.
how I got into it.
So do you guys all kind of like look at acting as this is something that folks have said on previous episodes, that it's almost like a way to kind of like I don't know, kind of therapeutic in a way, like you get to kind of like step into something else for a little while and kind of like leave stress and kind of worries behind. You get to like portray a character.
Yeah, definitely. It's therapeutic in the way it's a release from the world. And I think that through every character you explore, you take a piece of that character with you and you pocket it forever. And I think that's the beauty in what we do is that, you learn a little bit about a lot, and over time that adds up. And that's therapeutic in itself. That's very rewarding in itself.
For sure. Kevin, your character, we'll get into talking about Harvey here now. Let me go ahead and give the audience the synopsis for Harvey real quick. It's coming from IMDb. It's not that great of a synopsis. Small town life is about to become a lot more interesting when one man realizes he may be a killer. That one man is Harvey, Darius Autry's character. Darius, as Harvey, is working in a bowling alley, and one night, Johnny Alonzo's character interrupts a rape and takes care of the guy who tries to do it, and things kind of go from there. So let's start with the last podcast I did. I haven't edited and uploaded it yet. It was with it was over Red Pill. I don't know if you guys have seen that on the catalog.
Yeah.
So with that was with Tanya Pinkins or whatever, and that conversation got pretty deep on some areas. So I'm gonna take it deep for just a quick sec. Johnny, you played the role of someone who comes upon an act of violence, and you kind of take it into your own hands as far as what to do. And we were talking about playing characters and how that kind of affects us and how we take that away. Tell me what it was like to portray that. And with that, I mean, could you see yourself doing that in real life?
Protecting someone, yeah, absolutely. That was the book. Be that dangerous? No. As you know, I'm going to buttress up on what Darius said earlier. Acting is a heightened reality. So I learned that at NYU. I graduated from method acting, the School of Method Acting. So it can, dude, if you go too deep and dark with that, man, it will affect you. It'll fuck you up. Mm-hmm. So you have to find a way to keep it balanced. The character that I played, Keith, was great for a few reasons. Rennell, the writer, co-creator of the whole project, Harvey, she wrote that character specifically for me. You know, a lot of my resume really does weigh heavy on playing the dark and heavy. You know, I've got a franchise film. I've got some great horrors that you've probably seen that I've enjoyed. This character, you know, and I always usually play like that emo type, dark wave kind of rock and roll kind of dude. Keith was not like that at all. Keith had the attitude of it. He had the spirit of being, you know, a rebel.
Right.
And he does have a past, as you know, because you've seen the film. But he didn't look like that. So I really enjoyed playing into that skin. It was fun. But to answer your question really quickly, yeah, I mean, of course, like I said, to protect someone, absolutely. You know, even to like stand up for myself. Yeah, but to be that insane, I mean, you know, people can be pushed to that. I'm sure, you know, they do all the time, but I haven't been there yet. I mean, I've had some crazy exes, man, and they haven't pushed me that far yet. So
God almighty, man.
Yeah,
Dude,
man,
I'm telling you.
Thank you.
A quick look at Johnny's, for our listeners, a quick look at Johnny's IMDb page. If you scroll all the way down to 1994, he plays Kid B in probably one of my favorite flicks that my mom introduced me to, Serial Mom. Dude, God, what a great freaking flick, man.
Dude, the greatest. I worked with Kathleen Turner in that scene, man. And that was one of my first films. I know John Waters. He's from Baltimore. Everyone we've been talking about is from Baltimore. Baltimore rocks, man. Waters believed in me. He's like, you're playing Kid B. And I was like, okay. So I did the role. I worked with Ricky Lake. I worked with Kathleen Turner. They were all on set. Tracy Lords. Everybody was on set. And it was a minor role, but I was like, I hope it makes the film. He goes, it will.
What an introduction, though.
Yeah, dude, total awesome introduction. And TV Guide version, the movie was about to come out, and I was like, man, I don't want to tell anybody because I don't know if I made it. Turns out my scene made it in the national trailer, which made it into the national film. So
God, that's awesome.
Yeah, rad, dude, so rad.
So moving on to Kevin, I'm scrolling through his IMDb page. And Kevin, you know, for getting started in 2015, you've got quite the resume racking up for you, man.
Yeah, I've been fortunate, been pretty busy here and there, and I'm getting bigger and bigger projects, which is, I mean, obviously the goal. So I'm still trucking.
Yeah, man. Any particular, I mean, other than Harvey, is there any particular project that you've enjoyed being a part of that we should check you out in?
Goodness. I really enjoyed being on set of Bloodline, the Netflix series. Met Kyle Chandler, awesome guy. Sissy Spacek, very, very nice. And that was my, you know, early on, and I was just starstruck, you know, when I got on set,
right.
You know, because Sissy Spacek, you know, Carrie, you know, come on, you know, so I mean,
well,
that was I really enjoyed that day on set.
Dude, that's so awesome. CC Spacek, dude. Like, it's funny you mentioned Carrie first. And, you know, now as a horror fan, I think Carrie, but whenever I hear Sissy Spacek, I think Loretta Lynn, because I grew up down the road from the Loretta Lynn, you know, like the trail ride and like her house and all that stuff out Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. So, oh man, that was, yeah, my mom used to work out there. And then like, I remember seeing like all the signed VHS copies that they had for sale in the gift shop and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. See, I would, you know, a non-horror interview I'd love to do is with, have you guys seen Coal Miner's Daughter?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Darius?
Mm-mm.
Put that on your list, Darius. Okay.
Add it to the list.
Put Coal Miner's Daughter on your list. Okay. Because not only does it have Sissy Spacek, it's about Loretta Lynn and stuff. You got Tommy Lee Jones in there. And as far as non-horror interviews, that would be one interview I'd love to have. I just watched, I was out of town for work and I just got done watching The Fugitive and U.S. Marshals again.
Oh,
God,
yeah.
those things are amazing. His character is so great in those movies. He's just so over the top, but yet keeping it so straight.
Uh-huh.
Darius, I got your IMDb pulled up, my man.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going all the way. Yeah, you got quite a late start, like you said. Let's see, Midnight Montage. You were in a short called Rise. Obviously, Harvey, Legacy of Love.
Yeah.
You're in pre-production on looks like a Pandemic Invasion. Tell me about Pandemic Invasion. What's that gonna be about? Obviously, a pandemic.
Yeah. So it's a horror comedy being shot down here in Florida. Producer reached out through Harvey. He saw Harvey and he reached out, and I get to play the brother to the protagonist and lead of this film. It's about an older woman that pretty much gets in a car accident and she's paralyzed from the waist down. The film starts with her getting out of therapy and pretty much how she has to deal with, being paralyzed from the waist down and living by herself. So my character pretty much is her older brother, and our parents are deceased. They're not in the picture. So I kind of have to have this relationship and almost step into this parent role with my sister. And also she has to depend on me. So I found a lot of the human in that aspect of my character, which is why I was attracted to it. But it's in a pandemic, and I don't want to spoil it all, but there is a creature that comes from Venus and is in the community pond and slowly starts taking bodies and confronts my sister as I happen to get there and handle it.
Darius is you can tell Darius is so glad he became an actor, man.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, he's like just waking up every day like fucking so glad I did that.
I love
financing. Come on.
Oh, come on.
So
I can talk to Johnny about that if I want to learn about.
Come on, man.
Johnny, what? You doing accounting on the side?
No, I just know a lot of people with a lot of money, man.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Kevin, talk to me about what kind of project you have upcoming right now? What do you got in the works?
I've got a few actually. There's one that's called Breeding. I'll be heading back out to LA for that one. Unfortunately, COVID is kind of keeps pushing things back. It's going to be a vampire film, which I'm looking forward to filming. And then there's also one called Rescued Innocence. I'm playing a detective. It deals with the human trafficking and the problem that the U.S. has with human trafficking, and so that's going to be a pretty dramatic, in your face kind of film, just to show the reality of it. And so I'm looking forward to definitely those two, the horror and then more of a dramatic thriller and Rescued Innocence.
You know who you remind me of? What was that? What was the show with Kiefer Sutherland? 24. 24. You look like you could have been on 24, my man.
Oh, I would have loved to have been on 24. That was a great show.
Just kicking ass, man. Just like as a DEA agent or somebody, coming in the fold or whatever.
Loretta
Lynn, he could have been Mooney, the husband. God. Kingpin.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, I'm sure you got a great career ahead of you, man. I look forward to seeing you in more stuff, you and Darius for sure. Johnny, what about you, man? What do you got coming up?
Shit, what don't I? I'm going
hardest working actor in showbiz.
The hardest working actor, Jesus. I booked a gig on Outer Banks, and I had a very small introduction in season 2. Okay. And I'm going back for Outer Banks. I was supposed to be shooting actually this past week, but COVID, has just slowed down everything with the guilds. So
yeah, the
union has put a lot of stops on a lot of network TV right now. But I'm going back for my character. I'm playing Psycho Surfer Joe. It's locked in. Producing a couple projects, man. A couple projects that the guys here on the panel know about. That I'm trying to strike up around April. I've been talking with Eduardo Sanchez's people regarding a project that they're doing.
Nice.
So dude. I'm telling you, man. The best way to network is to network with people that just understand you. You gotta be in the right mindset.
Absolutely.
And everybody here, including yourself, I think we all kind of gel because we all have the same goal in mind. That's how it is.
Dude, for sure. I think we're as we we've been at this hard and heavy for about a year now. my partner and I that I started it with, we're on episode 16 now. We try to do 1 or 2 maybe a month, but we've interviewed the last Blockbuster. We did that interview. That was pretty cool. We did David Oman, who I don't know if you guys know about him or saw that interview, but that was really cool. He's got he lives like he could spit and hit the Sharon Tate murder house.
Oh, wow. Really
cool story about him is that his house is supposedly the most haunted house in America. If you've so that was a really cool interview because he's one of the most down to earth people I've ever met, and the way that he talks about these spirits in his house and stuff like that. If you're a skeptic, it kind of makes you wonder about things, because he talks about that as just being an everyday part of his life, and he doesn't really try to over dramatize it or whatever. But what's cool about it is there's a 80s flick with Barbara Hershey called The Entity. You remember that, Johnny?
I do, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, that had one scary ass soundtrack as well. Kevin, have you ever heard of The Entity?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Darius, put that on your list. So The Entity, there was the actual paranormal investigator who investigated that was one that came in to David Oman's home and investigated and said, hey, look, since I've been to your house, I've had the exact same nightmare 3 nights in a row of my intestines being ripped out. I'm not coming back to your house.
Wow.
Yeah, totally nuts, man. Totally nuts. So let's see, what do I have coming up next, man? I don't know. We're rocking and rolling through this midnight releasing catalog. We got we watched a movie, which is I'm gonna give them a shout out real quick. We watched a movie. They're a team kind of doing what we're doing, but man, they're getting interviews with like Andy Mudachek, from Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends and Halloween and stuff like that. And I'm like sitting here like, man, how y'all getting that done? And I'm like, there's a couple bros up in Kentucky, up north of us. And I'm like, so we give a shout out to those guys. I know that we've got the Full Moon Horror Festival coming up in April that I think we're all going to try to be a part of, which is going to be cool. That's going to be here in Nashville. And let's see what else. Man, hopefully we can, we're trying to get an interview with the kid that played Andy in the original Child's Play.
Okay.
We reached out to him. We're going to try to have him on. But now, since they started filming that show, he's super busy. Like, he came back to the TV series, which is pretty cool, reprising his role from the original movies. So that's pretty cool.
Hey man, if you don't mind me jumping in,
yeah,
you mentioned Leatherface. You guys we were talking about
Leatherface.
Yeah. One of my producing partners here in Los Angeles is very good friends with Jeff Burr, the director. So
okay.
If you're interested, man, I can always put you in touch because he directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface. So, that's, something that you're looking for, man. I can get some names for you, man.
Yeah, dude, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. Anybody, we would love to have, anybody that we can help promote. We're not in the, I think we're at like 99 subscribers right now. So like, we're really doing this as like a passion project.
Yeah.
And, supporting you guys and, promoting you. In turn, our reward is that we get to talk to you guys and hear the ins and outs of working on sets and stuff like that. I know that I think it's either in Hendersonville, Tennessee, or someplace outside. It's someplace outside of Nashville for sure. We're about to get a film studio, which is going to be great because that's going to usher in a lot of cool stuff here in Nashville, man. We might actually be Slashville at that point. Let me ask you guys this. In regards to the film, because we want to talk about Harvey, we want to talk about you guys first and foremost, but let's discuss Harvey for a little bit. Kevin, I don't want to ask a generic question, but let's go ahead and just get this out of the way. What was sort of like, what was your favorite part of filming, or, a pain point, or what do you remember most about filming Harvey?
Honestly, it's kind of funny how I got into it. I was kind of a last minute cast. So they had already been filming for, I want to say 3 or 4 days. And I came in and you know, I told Johnny when I came in, I'm like, listen, I'm a little nervous because I haven't had time to really, I just got the script the day before, you know, I'm trying to figure out this character, you know, and Johnny was like, hey, just do your thing, you know, and so working with Johnny, working with Darius, Aaron O'Brien, or I mean, everybody, I mean, it was one of the best sets that I've ever been on. Shannon Lanier, the DP, I mean, such an awesome guy behind the camera. It really was probably, even though we had all the SAG issues and had to do the testing and all of that stuff, it was still probably one of the most fun sets that I've been on.
Fantastic, man. I don't know if it came across the camera or if I'm just, you know, judging, you know, having done all these interviews, but it looked like you guys had a great time. It looked like everybody flowed really well on set, and as far as that came across on film. So Darius, you know,
we cut all the bad shit out. That's why. Gotta be honest.
Yeah. There we go. So Darius, excuse me. Here you are, you know, as a young pup actor with his big movie list to go check out and stuff like that. How did you feel about filming Harvey, man? Like, what stood out to you?
Yeah, well, first of all, it was an experience that grew me as an actor. It put me to another level, and that's just a testament to the people I got to work with: Johnny, Kevin, Shannon, Aaron, and many more. The list goes on. But what stood out to me the most was actually just having the time to spend with all these folks, because of how busy Johnny is. You know how busy Aaron is, Kevin is. Everyone's so Shannon, everyone's so busy. But for me as a young pup coming up, to just have the time to say, hey, Johnny, can we talk character? Hey, Shannon, can we talk this shot? Hey, Kevin, where are you coming from in this moment? Those little moments just added up for me. And there was really no one moment that stood out. It was just a collection of all those little moments.
I like the kind of hit on a personal note with me. I liked your interaction with the mom character a lot. I liked that interaction. That came across pretty real. I like that. Just this character of someone who is like trying to hold down the fort at home when obviously something was going on with the moms and stuff like that. I like that a lot, man. I think you did really well in those scenes. Those stood out to me as far as like quality acting and stuff. You know, there's the part where you're sitting on the bleachers and you're just kind of like down in the bruise and stuff. I like that a lot as well. So I think that you're getting your passion across, you're getting your point across, you know, in your scene. So I think you did a great job, man. I enjoyed watching that.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Johnny, tell me about, I guess your favorite scene to film was the bowling ball scene to the back of the head.
That was a fun scene. You remember, man, I was wearing a lot of hats, right, on the set.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't just acting. I wasn't just co-directing. I was also producing, and of course, with Renell, I was casting. So the stories that, you know, my colleagues here just mentioned, Kevin coming in on the third day, yeah, that's legit. I remember him coming to set, and he was nervous. And that was the day that I was actually directing one of the scenes and helping collab with Renell. And Kevin came up to me and he was like, I'm the new guy on the block. I'm like, listen, man, just get out there, do your thing.
Right.
If I don't like it, I'll tell you. And he knocked it out of the park. Same with Darius. You just mentioned the baseball scene, the diamond scene.
Yeah.
I remember talking with Darius that night. I directed Darius that night with Shannon and Darius. We were coming in from all different angles, and I was like, yeah, man, I want you to be unraveled. I want you to be there. I know you can do it, man. Darius really pulled through with that scene. So I'm proud of these guys. I'm proud of everybody on our set. If I had to like choose one scene that I'm really, you know, stoked about, if I can use one of my scenes.
Absolutely.
I work with Allison Meister. She played Madison. You know, I don't want to give away anything, but there was a night scene where we're dragging something over to the lake. And
I mean,
I really enjoyed that scene because I like Florida, but it's too hot, man. I sweat way too much. It's just humid, right?
yeah,
That night when we shot,
terrible.
it was very, it was, but the night that we shot, it was dark. All we had were starlights, and you could smell cypress from the trees and the lake. It was very creepy. It was almost like it was like a set before we even dressed it. And I remember I didn't have to direct, and I just got into my element, and I felt like an actor that night because everything else I've been like putting out fires, helping direct, being on board with everything else. The whole project, as Darius said, as well as Kevin said, everything was fun. It really was. I mean, we have such a great team. We put together an awesome ensemble, and I think that's half the reason why it's doing so well.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of different scenes and stuff like that, with that bowling ball, who is the effects? Who did the effects on this film?
That was Kat, our hair and makeup team. She was Catherine. What's it? Quill. Phenomenal woman. I was kind of lost because remember, I'm not from the Florida scene, so anybody we had to pick up local. I got Renell. Renell was in charge of that. I bust everybody in from Los Angeles and from up north. But she is a local makeup artist and FX woman, and she's on the top of her job. She was great.
Nice.
She came prepared, and that bash looked fantastic, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked great. I mean, in a world where everything is so CGI these days, and everything can just be easily done with a computer, practical effects are my bag. Like, I love the fact that even on like what are they doing? Even on like sets like The Mandalorian now, they're using the practical with the CGI, and you can tell, and it's great. I think that, God bless Tom Savini for what he's done for this industry. God, and
I was just going to throw in 2 bits. I got to give that to Renell because Renell is just a fan of practical.
Yeah.
We could have thrown CGI. Seriously, on that scene, I could have made it look gory. I could have made it look lightning crazy, but why?
Well, I'm glad you didn't, because I've seen some, not the ones that I've necessarily reviewed for this podcast, just ones that I've seen on like Tubi or Amazon Prime or something like that. Some of these indie horror flicks, and they'll use CGI on like some of the most random stuff, and I'm like, Jesus, like that is so freaking terrible. Like, why would you even include that in there? And I guess I
can tell you why. It's because they think that it's actually bringing up the whole production value. It sometimes takes away from it. It does,
Well, when we sit down to watch a film, we're sitting down to suspend reality, but not so far to, the effects in Harvey, that back of the head looked great. It looked real, and it was just enough of the shot to get you going, to be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it served its purpose, and we moved along. Some of these CGI shots that are coming up, these days in these films, your focus gets so on that, like you spend your moments, instead of enjoying the shot, thinking, oh my God, look how fake that looks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I'm coming from with it. So you guys did a great job. The effects were great. We're wrapping things up. I don't want to keep you guys. We're wrapping things up. We have a segment here at the end that we always do. I call it the Tony Robbins segment. So we go around and basically say, if you were to, 60 seconds, give someone advice, an upcoming actor, an upcoming wannabe director, or a DP or something like that, what advice, upcoming filmmaker, what advice would you give them? Like, how would you kind of, lift their spirits or tell them to keep going or whatever? So, Darius, if it's okay, I'd like to start with you, because I think you're the newest to the acting crew, or is it Kevin? Who's newer to acting, Kevin or Darius? Darius. Yeah. Okay.
I started 2017.
So, here we are, you're talking to somebody who wants to think about doing what you're doing. What advice would you have for him, man?
Yeah. I tell them, number one, work begets work. That's one.
Yeah.
Two, when you find the people that you trust and you look up to, hold on to them and do right by them. Because I think a mentor figure is needed in this business. Um, Thank you, Johnny, while you're here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Those two big things right there. And there's so many little minute things I can get into, like marketing materials and things like that. But
Yeah, I've
I'd
seen your
say,
headshots here. They look great.
oh, thank you, thank you. Work begets work. Find a mentor figure that you trust and hold on to them. And I'd say number three, make sure your work is high quality because it will lead to more work. I am here right now because that film Rise you mentioned earlier was the first thing I ever did with Renell. And because of Renell, I met Johnny. Renell and Johnny made a mutual decision to let me be Harvey. And I am here today because of that. Work begets
God, that's awesome, man.
work. Mhm.
Work begets work, and do high quality work, and then
Yes.
have a mentor.
Yes.
We'll put that in the notes, man. In the show notes, man. That's great. Kevin, no pressure, man.
None. No, one of these things that I would bring up is you got to have thick skin, because even you look at some of the major actors and you read some reviews, oh, they were terrible. They were terrible. You've got to be able to take criticism. But also don't let people be so negative to keep you from reaching your goals. Like I said earlier, I was listening to people say, you're never going to make it. You're not going to do it. It's so hard to get into. You're never going to make money. You're going to waste time.
Yeah.
And I put it off for a while, and then once I started, boom, and it's like, I look back and I could have been a lot farther in my career had I not listened to those people. And plus you've got to take no. When you do auditions, you talk to any actor and you'll get no. And
Yeah.
but you're going to get that yes. You will get that yes. And so you just got to keep pushing through it. And before you know it, you've made it.
Johnny.
What sucks being last? Everybody says everything I wanted to say. This is the problem here. So everything they said, all of the above, I completely endorse. If I have to add anything, I'm going to start off as an actor because, as you've seen, I've been acting for a very long time and I've been successful at it. I've had a lot of recurring roles on TV shows. I still get spotted for all of my network programs. I still get a ton of mail. It's cool. As an actor, you have to be a sponge. You have to act. It's called acting. Yeah, you got to build a brand. I understand that. You have to have something that is attractive to casting, but it doesn't mean that you are a one, like you're like this one thing. You're an actor. You are a thespian. Right. You're supposed to be a sponge, and you're supposed to go out there and do it, as Darius said, and you do it to the best of your ability. Because once it's on film, it's out there.
You are cemented forever.
Forever. And if I can add to that, forever, if I can add to filmmakers out there,
yeah,
what Kevin just said, circle yourself around the right people. There are too many people out there that have hidden agendas, and they love taking your information and using it as their own. I've been lucky enough to catch these people quickly that I wouldn't get burned, and I won't get burned, and I'll never burn anybody I work with. I have a very small circle of people that I trust, these two included. Now you too, man, run your show, but
thanks, man.
Yeah, man. You have to just circle yourself around people that you can trust, that, their objective is mine. And if you go to war with me, we finish together. We cross the victory line together. I don't care what anybody says. You thin the herd. I always say that, thin the herd. Because like I said, you're going to have a lot of lackeys. They're going to fall in love with you, but their hidden agenda is they want to take your information and then it burns you because you were a nice guy. Well, sorry, man. I'm keeping the circle small, That's what I know. Yeah.
Something that I've noticed, Darius, I don't know how old we all are, but I'll be 34 this year. And something that I have learned is the older that I get, the smaller my circle gets. Yeah. And it's like when you're a kid, it's like everybody's your friend. I got a ton of friends. I got, 10, 15, 20 friends. And then it's like, oh, you get, you graduate and it's like, you don't see anybody like maybe like what, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you become an adult. Maybe you get married. Maybe you settle down a little bit. Maybe you start doing maybe you start pursuing your own thing. And then that's when all the haters, why are you doing that? You don't want to do that, man. Bro, that doesn't work. And then you start noticing how small that circle actually is. And you start seeing who's for you and who's against you. And, what's that old saying? You're like a sum of the 5 people that you're around or that you hang around or whatever. Huh. So that's for real, man. Like I noticed once I started trying to be successful and started trying to do things like this, I noticed that I had to put people around me that, were trying to pursue what they wanted to do and trying to be successful and trying to, maybe do some things that are outside the box. Because if I just put people around me that, were working their 9 to 5 and going home and kicking their feet up and binging Netflix and whatever, those people couldn't understand, what I was trying to do or anything like that. So, that's my Tony Robbins segment. You are the sum of the people that you hang around, and be careful who you got around you. It's super important. People put so much on, picking a mate. Be careful who you hang around with at the water cooler, because they could have a huge effect on you. So that was my spiel. I'll get off my soapbox. 33 years of wisdom here, folks. So we will end. I'll just do like that. We'll end. Thank you guys so much. If there's anything else anybody would like to add, go ahead. But I think it's a good time to wrap it up.
Yeah, if you don't mind me throwing out, man, I'm going to be on a haunting February 11th, the paranormal series.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me write this down. February 11th.
Yeah, February 11th on the Travel Channel and Discovery Plus. My episode on a haunting, which is a paranormal series, it's called, my episode's entitled Nevermore.
Okay.
And, I got a cool guest starring on there, man. So I'm excited to see it.
Awesome. We'll look forward to that, man. I'll have to throw it up like on Instagram as a reminder for people to check out and tag you and all that stuff.
Thank you.
Darius, Kevin, anything you'd like to plug real quick before we go?
No, I mean, like I said, the stuff that's coming up for me is kind of constantly getting pushed back due to COVID. So, but I am looking forward to working with Johnny on some projects coming up. Heading back up to the Baltimore area, which love it up there. So hooking back up with him and our DP Shannon Lanier. So,
dude, awesome. If there's if it's horror related, cool. If it's not, man, I'll be looking forward to like on your Instagrams or whatever. I'd love to have you guys back.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that and we'll promote that, man. Well, we're here for you guys. So whatever you need from us. Okay. Awesome. When I get done uploading the video and stuff like that, I'll make sure I send you guys a link in the same thread, and you guys just respond back where you want me to tag you guys, like on Instagram or whatever page, you want me to associate with it. Okay.
Thank you.
So this has been episode, where are we at? 16 of Brown Horrors Behind the Horror. We want to thank Kevin, Darius, and Johnny for joining us tonight. Thank you guys so much. And we look forward to talking with you again. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
guys. Have
much.
A great night.
All right, bro. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.